So I don't think it's a fit.
Hello.
Good morning. Nice to see you here.
It's not officially open.
It's not officially open. There's
Oh,
so
it's not?
no, but it there.
Who's that car?
Let me tell Joe.
Well, hold on. It's like well,
Hey, Joe, don't push that out. The I-55 thing, the roundabout open. Don't yet. Nix it.
well, it's like because the official ribbon cutting is this morning.
Okay. Oh.
So what I saw was
Well, we can push that, like the river.
yeah, the ribbon cutting is this
We
morning.
can push that, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so because there's still construction vehicles.
Huh?
There were still construction vehicles. So that was a car that was going through the interchange to just kind of see what's going on. So that's what.
It's always one with
Yeah, so that's what it is. But yes, it will be open today.
Good morning, everyone. Andrew Douglas here in the Action News 5 digital desk. It is a Tuesday. It's May 6th, and man, is it nice outside. Take a look from our high five camera. 54 degrees at 7 o'clock. Gorgeous skies, gorgeous temperatures. But it might not last all that long. We got meteorologist Patrick Ellis here starting us off on a Tuesday. And Patrick, you were saying earlier, could see some showers in the area in parts of the Mid-South. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Yeah, some showers later on today, but at least we're getting some sunshine. Hey, I want to talk about this real quick because this is going to be a big story later on today. Governor Bill Lee is going to be in town to do an official ribbon cutting for this project right here that we have been waiting 2 years to finish. It's the I-55 Crump interchange. They are going to finally open it up here. And if I'm not mistaken, ahead of schedule. I think the scheduled date was June 21st. It is May the 6th, and things are just about done. They're doing some finishing up projects right now before they open it up officially. One lane of I-55 northbound between Macklemore. Of course, it's been open for a couple of weeks now since the last bridge closure, but it's open right now, I-55 northbound with one lane down this morning from Macklemore up to Riverside and Crump. But the roundabout will likely open here later. Will open later on this morning. Of course, we're getting that pushed out on actionnews5.com. This is going to be a big thing for downtown to be able to come in from the south end of downtown as well as the north end of downtown, of course, with that Crump interchange as well. But like I said, construction crews are still out there cleaning everything up, but things should be off and running here later on this morning. So that's some good news on this Tuesday morning. 50s and 40s this morning as you're stepping out the door. 56 degrees in Memphis, 54 in Olive Branch, 47 Ashland, 48 in Corinth, 52 as you're stepping out the door in Selmer. Of course, we're starting off with sunshine, but you're starting to see some clouds beginning to build in. I think that will be the case here throughout the course of your Tuesday. Clouds gradually building, rain to the west. Now, the bulk of this rain, while it looks like it's coming to the north and east, it's about to dive back down towards the south and east. So northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, central Mississippi get a better chance for rain, and we're right on the edge of seeing a rain moving in our direction later on today. So we'll add in those rain chances this evening, but for the vast majority of the day, it will be dry and just gradually increasing the clouds as we head through that time frame. High temperatures today topping out upper 70s, close to 80 in a few spots. And again, we've got some rain opportunities, heaviest rain through the next 3 days to our south along the I-20 corridor, and it could lead up to some flood concerns in places like Natchez and Vicksburg and Brookhaven, Mississippi. We've got rain opportunities at times, not constantly though, as we go through your next few days. Today, I think our rain chance is predicated more so towards the end of the day. Then tomorrow morning, we'll have some scattered showers to contend with. Most of the rain, though, will come in over the evening and overnight period. Northern areas of the Action News 5 coverage area, the more scattered activity as a front moves into the area heading into your your Thursday morning and afternoon. Let's take a look at our first alert futurecast. And again, today we're seeing a couple banks of fog in a few spots through the Hatchie River bottoms heading out towards eastern Bolivar County, eastern Hardeman County into Tippah County, western Alcorn County this morning. Otherwise, again, we're in decent shape. Clouds thickening up, eventually some shower chances that come along with it as well. Near and south of I-40, that's where we see our best chance for seeing some scattered showers here this evening. Then things calm down. You're probably thinking, okay, well, we're done with the rain, right? Well, unfortunately, tomorrow morning could be a wetter commute for more sections of the Action News 5 coverage area. So be prepared for at least some opportunity for some light rain showers to contend with along your morning travels from work and school. By lunchtime, upper 60s, close to 70. We'll top out low 70s. A lot of clouds throughout the course of the day. And like I said, the bulk of the rain and storms staying northern areas and staying outside the Action News 5 coverage area. But there's a little swirl in the atmosphere early Thursday morning. That'll kick off a few more shower and thunderstorm opportunities heading through Thursday late morning into the afternoon hours. And again, some downpours associated with that will come and go, and get ready for, again, another cloudy looking Friday across the area. Well, what is kicking all of this off? Of course, the Omega block that you may have seen on social media the last couple of days. This setup is that we've got a blocking low, and there's a big ridge of high pressure in between. That ridge of high pressure would be nice to be underneath because obviously some warmer temperatures, quieter conditions up that way. But we're right on the western flank of that ridge, the eastern flank of the ridge, and the western flank of the area of low pressure. And that is what's going to kick off these little small scale disturbances that could kick off a few showers and more clouds as well. Typically underneath these upper lows, you get cooler temperatures and also those little disturbances as well. This one will eventually start to lift out towards the north and east as we get towards the end of the week. This one will backfill it in as we head through the weekend and the start of next week, and that keeps our temperatures a little bit more stymied. Average high today, 79. We'll get close to it here today. Below average tomorrow, back closer to average on Thursday. And again, by the weekend, looks to be below average temperatures for us as we head through the weekend. Now, obviously, by the time we get towards the weekend, the average high closer to 80 degrees. With that, we'll add in clouds and occasional showers. I don't think there's a constant washout there, so I don't want you to think there's going to be, oh my gosh, it's going to rain every single day, all day long. That is not the case. Best rain chances for today will happen around or after sunset. And again, tomorrow morning. Afternoon turns drier. Most of the morning should be dry on Thursday. Shower and storm chances become a bit more prevalent as we head towards Thursday afternoon. That comes and goes. A couple of lingering showers on Friday. A few hit and miss isolated shower chances through the weekend and early portion of next week before we transition out of that pattern into a warmer pattern, more so of a ridge developing across the area as we head towards the next week. That will bolster the numbers back up through the 80s. We'll be closer to average on Tuesday, and again, 80 degrees, and then we go above average beyond that through Wednesday, Thursday of next week, back into the middle 80s. But again, this pattern is a little murky, and again, it keeps us a bit unsettled the next couple of days. Daily chances for more clouds to build in. You'll still see some sunshine from time to time, but also occasional shower chances. Won't be constant rain, but there will be rain and some rumbles of thunder. Severe weather, not likely with this, so that's good news, but we'll still have to tangle with some rain opportunities. Higher rain impacts may be south of I-40 as we get towards your Wednesday and Thursday, at least tonight, I think the higher rain chances will be in North Mississippi, East Central Arkansas, into Southwest Tennessee. Then Wednesday, it'll be more Wednesday morning, more scattered activity around the I-40 corridor and more sections of the coverage area. I think that we'll just have some light showers to contend with. Then Thursday looks to be more scattered activity through the course of the afternoon hours. It won't be in every single location, but at least some downpours coming into play. Friday, same idea. The rain chances will be a little bit more predicated down to the south, closer to the Mississippi-Tennessee border, and just sporadic showers as we head through the weekend and the start of next week.
Patrick, we have the Memphis Greek Festival Friday, Saturday. It looks good, doesn't it?
You know, I think, I was going past the church this morning. I was like, I know it's coming up. I'm hopeful that everybody can get out there and enjoy themselves this upcoming weekend, Friday, Saturday. We might have a few showers on Friday. Saturday looks to be generally dry. just cloudier through the course of the day. But again, we'll have a few showers to work through. If you're going through the drive-through line, you don't have to worry about it. But of course, if you're hanging around out there on Friday and Saturday, you might have to dodge a shower. Best chance would be on Friday.
All right, meteorologist Patrick Ellis starting us off on a Tuesday. We appreciate the deep dive. Patrick, thank you.
No problem.
And another look right now at our beautiful high five camera in Midtown Memphis, right outside of our studios here. 56 cool, comfortable degrees at 7:09. Another shot from our high five camera downtown Memphis. Just a gorgeous shot there. Again, temperatures in the 50s this morning. We'll see temperatures in the upper 70s, close to 80. We'll be checking in with our friend Patrick Ellis all morning long on the Action News 5 digital desk to keep us monitored when it comes to the forecast right here on Action News 5. So we have a busy morning here on Action News 5. As I mentioned earlier before we signed on Action News 5 this morning, we talked about Mother's Day coming up this Sunday. We're going to be talking with a doctor, a physician, about ways to help moms feel better, not just for one day, but throughout the year, with some bite-sized, science-backed tips to help busy moms find that calm in the chaos. We're also talking about, as I mentioned to Patrick, the Memphis Greek Festival, and it's Friday and Saturday this weekend. We'll be talking about what you can experience there. We're also going to be talking with our friend Talisa Franklin. She's going to be giving us a rundown of some of the positive events that she is talking about as well. And then Thank a Hero, Teacher Appreciation Day. It's also Teacher Appreciation Week, and ways that you can honor that special teacher in your lives. All of that coming up later this morning on the Action News 5 digital desk. But one of our top stories has to deal this morning with some of the violence that happened across Memphis. There were several shootings in several different parts of Memphis, everywhere from Frazier to Midtown to Hickory Hill. We have Action News 5 Stephanie Douglas giving us an update of the deadly shooting that happened in Frazier outside the Infinity Sports Bar and Grill.
The latest information is that 2 men are dead from this early morning shooting at Infinity Sports Bar and Grill. It's right off of North Watkins and Overton Crossing Street. It happened around 2 a.m. this morning, and investigators say when they got on scene, it was a very chaotic scene. We see an owner right now just sweeping up the parking lot from everything that spilled out. I spoke to a couple people on scene who said they were inside the bar when the shooting happened, and they said that it stemmed from a fighting that spilled out into the parking lot. So that's all the information we know right now. We're still working to get more information, and as soon as we get more information, we'll bring it to you online and on air. Reporting, I'm Stephanie Douglas, Action News 5.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Well, we got a treat for you because later next month, June 13th, you are going to be able to see Jefferson Starship at the Bank Plus Amphitheater in Snowden Grove in South Haven, Mississippi. They're going to be playing some classic hits and some modern music as well. It is an incredible band that has really gone through several iterations over the last 50 years. In fact, I am joined right now on the Action News 5 digital desk by Kathy Richardson. I understand you're the main lead singer. Is that right, Kathy? Good morning.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I've been in the band, excuse me, since 2008. So it's been 17 years, and it's actually insane because never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that I would be in Jefferson Starship. But it's a great place to be.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, like, tell me about that. So you take the stage with a band that has so much history over decades, 50 years, all these different songs, and yet you've been there for a decent amount of time, but not the 50 years. I mean, what's it like trying to fill some shoes there and yet still give everything you've got to the crowd and everything that they want as well?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Grace Slick is one of the queens of rock and roll, along with Janis Joplin, who I also insanely portrayed in a play called Love, Janis. And then I was asked to sing with Big Brother and the Holding Company, Janis's original band. And we were on tour with Jefferson Starship. And that's where I met them. And it turned out shortly after that, they needed a singer. And they asked me to join. And it was really, really a surreal experience because they're absolutely one of my favorite bands. The whole legacy, starting with Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, and Starship. Grace Slick is, of course, one of my heroes. And obviously, I'm not her, and people like to remind me of that all the time. I'm well aware. But, my whole thing is just give it everything you've got. And that's what I learned from my mentors, my heroes. And that's what we try to do every night.
I got it. So we're looking at some video here of Jefferson Starship and
the windmill cowbell. That's one of my signature moves.
Okay, so tell me about this tour so far. What's it like?
It's great. We just got done with 2 weeks playing kind of small theaters on the East Coast. We were in South Carolina, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and it's a lot of fun. We have so much music in the history, and we try to touch on all of it and make the fans happy, play the songs they want to hear. And that, of course, that's different for everyone, but there's so many hits. We could fill a whole show with just hits.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a classic rock guy, so I know Jefferson Airplane and White Rabbit and Somebody to Love, and then you got Starship and Jefferson Starship with all the different songs there.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot there. There's a lot of catalog that you could play. But you mentioned, being on stage there and having to fill these shoes of Grace Slick and some of the other former iterations of Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship. What do you tell people that say that you just mentioned? Oh, you're not Grace Slick. I mean, what do you say to that?
I say, I know we're two totally different people, and we have different bodies and faces and souls and everything and names. I know I'm not her, and I get that she's an icon and people want to see her, but she's 85. She doesn't tour anymore. She's sitting at home painting, and she's quite happy doing that. And she's very supportive also of me in doing this role. And, it's hard for me to be like, well, Grace Slick loves me, so you should too, But
Right.
She does. And she's just extraordinarily supportive. She wants the music to live on forever. And bringing in new members is the way that continues to happen. So even though I'm not new anymore, and I think our newest member has been in the band 12 or 13 years at this point, Jude Gold, the guitar player. Chris Smith, not original, but has been in the band 25 years. Donnie Baldwin, also not original drummer, but he was in the historical band. He played on the Nuclear Furniture album, and then went on to play on all the great hits of Starship. We Built This City, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us, Sarah. And then, of course, we have David Freiberg, who is original Jefferson Starship, not original Airplane, but he was in the Airplane. So, I think the whole thing with the changes over the years, Marty Ballin left and Grace Slick left at the same time, and they brought in Mickey Thomas, and it was kind of like onward. That was Paul Kantner's motto. Next, who's next? We're just going to get the next best person we have to do this job, and that's and I think it's cool because new members coming in, we don't try to sound exactly like the record. That's not what we do. We're not like a tribute band. We're not trying to look and sound exactly like the original band, but just really allowing the music to evolve, which it would no matter who was playing it. And even if the original members were all still alive and still here, it wouldn't sound the same as it did in the 60s and 70s. So, I think you just have to be on board with change being a fact of life, and but the one thing that remains constant with this band is the music and the songs, and a great song is a great song no matter what, and we have such a rich catalog, like you said.
Yeah, no question about it. So you got the show coming up in South Haven, June 13th. What can fans expect?
Well, they can expect us to play all the great hits of Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, and Starship, and see it delivered in a really tight, powerful way with some original historical members and others of us who have been here for a really long time, and just a good time.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Anything else before we let you go? It sounds like a great show on the way.
Thank you. Yeah, well, love to see everybody out there, and if you want to find out more about us, go to jeffersonstarship.com. We're also on all the socials, Facebook, TikTok, all the things. So come find out more, and if you want to celebrate this great music with us, come on out to the show.
All right, Kathy Richardson, the lead singer of Jefferson Starship. We appreciate your time on the digital desk, and look forward to your tour stop here in South Haven, June 13th. We appreciate your time. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. I want to show you this. This is the sights and certainly lots of sounds of the Memphis Greek Festival headed our way May 9th and 10th from 11 until 8 both days. It's going to be on the Greek island on Highland and Sam Cooper in Memphis. Joining me now to talk more about the Greek Festival is Kathy Zimbelis. And Kathy, it's always great to talk about the Memphis Greek Festival, and it seems like it's getting bigger and better each year. Tell me about it. Good morning.
Well, first of all, oppa! Just one of the many things that we'll be having available for the Memphis Greek Festival. It is our 66th year this year. We're so excited, and it is getting bigger and better. Our crowds are just amazing, and we are so excited to be able to provide a little bit of our faith, our culture, our heritage. And you're right, it's right there on the island on Highland, 573 North Highland. We will have free shuttles from Poplar Plaza Shopping Center and as well as Life Church. Please take the shuttles because it's very limited on where you can park during that area. And it drops you off right there at the front gate. Bring 3 canned goods. It'll get you in free, and that goes to the Mid-South Food Bank. So we're helping the people of the Mid-South, and you're going to be having a great time. We have live music, Greek dancers, the church tours, sorry, and also just so much food and happiness. The Greeks embrace people, as we both know, being Greek, and we just love this time of the year. It's so much fun.
So tell us about what we're seeing here. This is some of the dancers there,
These
the
are
Athenian dance troupe.
dance troops, and then they'll perform on Friday, and then again on Saturday we'll have live music that goes with that as well. And then on Friday night, I believe it's around 5:30, we'll have free dance lessons as well. Inside the church, we want you to go in our church. It's absolutely beautiful. Father Simon will lead our church tours, and then inside our fellowship hall, we have the main meal, which you can get if you'd like to online. If you go to memphisgreekfestival.com, you can buy tickets in advance and find out about everything. And don't forget, we have a drive-through, and everything's available there as well with our meals, some of the desserts. We'll have Greek pizza. We'll have the biftekia, which is like a gyro. with the tzatziki sauce. And you know what? If you don't know where we are, roll your window down, go down Highland, and you will smell all of the delicious food being cooked and be ready to go. Our lady's been working so hard on all of the pastries, and gosh, they're delicious. The baklava cheesecake to our meals that we have prepared, as well as our pastry. If you don't have a gift from mom, come to the festival. We have tons of great gifts available. We have a Greek boutique. We have so many things ready to go for you.
Yes, and some of those pastries, I mean, the recipes go back decades, and
Yes.
sometimes 100 years there. And the ladies, the yayas, the grandmothers have been working on this feverishly leading up
Yes.
to the festival.
Yes, we'll have our cookbook. It's Greek to Me available as well. And you know what's so special for us is we are continuing our wonderful traditions that our mothers, our yayas, our grandmothers that you said, and our men too, because they're involved just as much as the ladies are. And these recipes are so authentic and so delicious. And if you don't know what you want, we have a pre-packed sweets ready to go. So you get a little bit of everything while you're doing that as well.
No question about it. Okay, so we have the dancing, we have the music, we have the food, we got the church tours, we got the bookstore, Greek dancing lessons. What
Yes,
else can
and
we
also
talk
we
about?
have a little family area, the kids zone. So you know what? A lot of people come through the drive-through on Friday because they're working, and then on Saturday they come back and they bring the whole family, and you can literally spend the whole day there and just have an absolutely fabulous time. And we'll let you be Greek for 2 days, and we think that it's a lot of fun. And a lot of people go to the church tours, and they end up joining our church because they love our Greek Orthodox faith, which is the mother church. So come and learn about that. That's what's most important to us as well.
Is there going to be Greek beer? Some years it goes so quickly, and it's so
goes
tasty.
fast.
It
It goes
does.
fast. I know. Talking for yourself, I'm sure, but it does go super fast, and we really want people to come early because a lot of their sweets, especially the baklava, even though we make extra, that goes very fast because it's really one of the most popular. I personally like the baklava cheesecake. I think it's absolutely delicious. I mean, baklava and cheesecake you put together, and man, boom, it's wonderful.
And it's important for people to know that there is a cover charge, but you can get in for free with 3 cans, and that
Yes.
goes to the Mid-South Food Bank.
It does, and we are one of the best ones of the events that helps the Mid-South Food Bank. So know when you're coming, you're doing something not just for yourself to enjoy, but you're helping the Memphis community. I mean, it's a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
Excellent. Okay, Kathy Zimbelis on the Action News 5 digital desk talking about the Memphis Greek Festival, May 9th and 10th from 11 until 8. Kathy, always appreciate talking to you. Looking forward to
Yes,
seeing you
we'll see you on
once
the
again
dance
on
floor
the Greek
too,
Island.
Andrew.
Yes, Greek Island on Highland. Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. I want to show you this here. There is a free dental care event happening. It's the annual Give Kids a Smile Day. It's coming up on Wednesday, May 7th. The College of Dentistry at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center is hosting this annual event on Wednesday from 8 until noon. Joining me right now on the Action News 5 digital desk is Dr. Cassandra Christensen. She's going to explain more about how this event works and how it benefits it looks like 100 children in Memphis, both middle schoolers and high schoolers. Cassandra, good morning to you. Tell me about this event. Yeah, tell me about this event.
Yes, this is our annual Give Kids a Smile event. This is actually a national campaign by the American Dental Association. But the University of Tennessee Health Science Center College of Dentistry has participated in this event for approximately 15 years. So we invite students from two of the local schools, Freedom Prep Academy, and this year, Soulsville Academy is also joining us. So the kids come in as a field trip, and they are able to receive free dental services. We go out ahead of time and screen these children so that we are prepared to meet their needs. So whether the kids need to have fillings done or dental cleaning or some preventive sealants done, whatever their needs are, we try to meet those needs. They're treated by third and fourth year dental students under the supervision of faculty members, as well as third and fourth semester dental hygiene students who are also under the supervision of their faculty members. So it's an amazing day. We close the school down for the morning. This year it's Wednesday, May 7th. So that morning will be totally dedicated to treating these children at no cost to them.
So I would think that for these kids, they really are in need of dental care. Can you explain kind of what some of the dental students uncover as they're, just helping out, giving back? What a wonderful public service this is.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing for both our dental students as well as those kids who are being served. Because oftentimes children will miss school because of dental pain. And when kids have had pain for a long period of time, it's kind of their norm, and they don't realize that we can actually get rid of that pain, before it becomes an acute situation. So these are children who may not have access to regular dental care, and we bring them in and provide these services at no cost. This is helpful, of course, to their parents because they don't have to take off work to get kids to an appointment, and the kids get to have a great time. We have educational programming. The Tooth Fairy hangs out with them. They really get an opportunity to see young people pursuing their dreams. And oftentimes we get to talk to children who hadn't thought about dentistry as a career, but after this event, they start to think of dentistry as a potential career.
So tell me about the 100 students. I understand it's 100 Memphis middle schoolers and high schoolers, where they are from. Tell me how you selected them.
Yes, these children are middle and high schoolers from Freedom Academy and from Soulsville Academy. We've worked with Freedom Academy for about 10 years now. This year, we also partnered with Soulsville Academy to offer these services too. So we just look for zip code areas and kids or schools who have a population of kids who may have a need and have a problem with accessing care. So that's how these particular schools were identified. And just because of logistics, we look for schools that we can easily get them to the dental school and back to their home schools.
Fantastic. Now, if someone wanted to get their teeth cleaned or go see some of the students, can they do that as well outside of Wednesday's event?
Absolutely. So the College of Dentistry is open to the public. So anyone who has a need for any kind of dental care, this is an excellent place to receive that care because all of the specialties are here. So no matter what services you need, from a simple filling to complicated implants, that can be received here. One of the other things that people in the city perhaps are unaware of is that services rendered are either by dental students or dental residents in specialty practices, or residents who are working on specialties. So the cost is less than going to private practice, but what you save in money, you spend in time. So you spend more time here because students are learning and they are under the supervision of their faculty members, but the services that you receive are second to none.
Okay, well, listen, Dr. Cassandra Christensen, we appreciate your time on the digital desk. Anything else before we let you go about Wednesday's event or anything else?
No, we're just very, very excited. The University of Tennessee Health Sciences Center does so much in the community, and this is just one of the other opportunities that we have to give back to our community and for our students to be exposed to wonderful children in the city of Memphis.
Wonderful. All right, Dr. Cassandra Christensen, we appreciate your time on the Action News 5 digital desk. Thank you. Good morning, welcome back. Good morning, welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Spring break isn't just for college students anymore. Travelers are really kind of redefining the season with longer, more immersive getaways, cultural experiences, self-care escapes. Let's talk more about this season, this spring's biggest travel trends with Allie Killam. She's with Airbnb joining us on the digital desk. So tell me, how, Allie, are people rethinking spring break this year? Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, Airbnb guests are really prioritizing self-care, immersing themselves in cultural events, and spending quality time with their family and their pets while they're traveling this spring. So compared to last year, searches for trips with pets have increased by 30%. And we're also seeing a rise in solo travel. So we've seen a 90% growth in solo travel searches for spring, which we think is tied to this wider, slow, and soft travel trend. And then with spring breaks in full spring across the schools around the country, we're also seeing that destinations that offer family-friendly events and activities are really trending with guests this spring as well.
So tell me about this solo trend and what's driving it, because I would think, like, when I travel, I want to be with a friend, a family member, somebody to enjoy the experiences.
Yeah, definitely. I think the solo travel trend is really tied into this greater trend around self-care and travel being one and the same, and just taking time to really unplug, really get to know a destination, and really focus on relaxation, connection, and really taking things slow. So we're seeing this in a couple different ways. So people who are increasingly searching for countryside listings this spring compared to last year, and that might show that travelers are looking for a bit more of an off the beaten path experience this spring. And we're also noticing that people are just spending more time in the places that they're traveling to this spring, and solo travelers especially. They are opting for trips with an average of 17 nights this spring, and family trips are also averaging around 8 nights. So longer trips in general, people are really getting to connect with the destinations they're traveling to. And for guests who are interested in this type of travel, what's great is that more than 2/3 of hosts on Airbnb offer weekly or monthly discounts to make those types of trips a little bit more affordable.
Very cool. So let's talk about some of the destinations that are trending this spring and maybe share some tips for people wanting to plan some sort of getaway.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of interesting destinations trending this spring, whether they're hosting major events or warm weather beach destinations. But some things we've seen are Basel, Switzerland has made the list, Milan, Italy, Stillwater, Oklahoma has made the list. They're hosting a family weekend at Oklahoma State this spring. And we're also seeing destinations like Gulf Shores, Alabama, and Ubatuba, Brazil trend this spring as well. And then in terms of tips, I always recommend people looking at our redesigned search filters. They can really get specific on what types of amenities you're looking for and finding stays that way. I'd also keep an eye out for quality badges like guest favorites. Those indicate some of the most loved Airbnbs on the platform. And then also just taking a look at the listing reviews before booking. They can really help with setting the expectations of your trip.
Very cool. And what about more information? If people want to kind of get some ideas going, get the juices flowing, where can they go?
Yeah, you can head to Airbnb.com or you can download the Airbnb app.
Okay, Allie Killam, appreciate the time and happy spring to you. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We always love to talk about the parties and the various events going on at Memphis Botanic Garden, and they got a food truck garden party happening at Memphis Botanic Garden. Let's bring in Jenna Harris over at Memphis Botanic Garden. Just a gorgeous day to get outside and enjoy one of the gems at Memphis Botanic Garden. Jenna, tell us more. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we are so excited to be able to bring back this favorite series again. You know, we've kind of gone from this cool spring to now all of a sudden it feels like summer already. So picnic time to come out and enjoy the garden. You can see I'm here in the rose garden. It is in peak bloom right now and just looking gorgeous. And as we're starting to kind of take out all of those spring flowers in the garden and getting in all of our summer annuals, you'll start to see all kinds of new colors and things happening all throughout the garden. So it's just a great time to come over for an evening on the second Wednesday of May, June, and then September and October. We'll have our food truck garden party series. So the first one's going to be May 14th. And we'll be out there with our one of our local bands, Tracking Giants. They play all kinds of fun music. And then some of our food trucks. We'll have Mexico and Memphis there. We'll have an ice cream truck there. So all kinds of food trucks, as well as a spot to pick up some cocktails or drinks if you want. All the lawn games will be out for the kids. And again, it's just a time to come out, have your picnic, and then go explore the grounds. You're 96 acres full of all different things that are blooming at the time. You know, that's about the time we start feeding our koi again. So you'll get to go out there, see the koi fish in the Japanese garden, which is really close to our food truck garden party area. So it's just, again, another fun opportunity to come see everything changing in the garden and get ready for this next season.
Yeah, so you got 4 garden parties. The first one is May 14th with, as you mentioned, the food trucks, live music from Tracking Giants, all kinds of different food trucks there. Looks like there's a good crowd each and every year, huh?
Yeah, we've had great crowds to this. It's kind of become a tradition for a lot of people. You know, midweek, you kind of get to the point where you're over making dinner. So this is, again, it's a fun way to go out to dinner during the middle of the week, but in a different environment than, you know, heading out to a restaurant. You come out here, have a picnic, let the kids run around and play, listen to some good music. There's all kinds of different food options you can have. You go to one truck for maybe an appetizer, another one for dinner, and then you hit the dessert truck and grab a cocktail and explore the garden. So yeah, we usually have between 300 and 500 people at each event. The first one is going to be on May 14th, and that's going to be the only one during this season that you're going to be able to see our trolls, the Thomas Stambo trolls. They're moving on to their next place on May 21st. And so if you want to come and be able to explore the trolls before they're gone, this is the food truck party to come to.
Excellent, excellent. What else can we talk about, Jenna, before we let you go, and all the great things that are happening across those 96 acres?
Yeah, so again, you know, the trolls are going to be leaving us. They got to move on to another garden, but we're having a big weekend this weekend. For 21 and up, we're going to have our trolls garden party. Each one of the trolls kind of has a signature cocktail. You get to go around, you get 3 cocktails. There's food trucks here. We'll have a band. Go around and explore the garden at night. We'll have some hands-on activities where you get to make some hands-on crafts for the adults to take home. So kind of being a kid again with that. And then on Saturday, you can come back with your family. We're having our Troll Fest. This was going to happen a few weeks ago when we had that bad weather. So we've rescheduled for this weekend. We've got all kinds of community partners that are going to be out here. Protect Our Aquifer, Tennessee Native Plant Society, Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, and lots more. So lots of community partners that'll be paired up with each one of the trolls that kind of shares the same mission that their organization shares. And they'll have hands-on activities for the kids. And again, we like to have music and food trucks, all the things that people need to be able to make a full day of it.
All right, Jenna Harris, Director of Education and Events at Memphis Botanic Garden. Thanks, as always, for joining us on the digital desk, and thank you for spelling out all these great events that are happening at one of those gems that we love in Memphis, the Memphis Botanic Garden. Thank you so much. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. On May 8th, there is a Tom Lee celebration in downtown Memphis. Let's bring in Jasmine Coleman to talk more about what is involved in this celebration. Jasmine, good morning to you. I understand that you are the Director of Programming and Engagement there at Memphis River Parks Partnership, so you know all about this celebration that I'm hearing is going to have a poetry contest, it's going to have a film release, and so people can learn more about Tom Lee, who has a great story to tell. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so Next week is Tom Lee Day on May 8th, and we're so excited to announce this year's winners of our annual Tom Lee Poetry and Spoken Word contests. We have 3 winners. They will be performing their works, and as you mentioned, we'll be debuting a new short film that is about Tom Lee. So we're really excited to invite the public to this free event at the Cosset Library next Thursday at 2 p.m.
Okay, so it's at the Cosset Library. It's not at Tom Lee Park. Tell me what's going on.
Yep, so the park is temporarily closed to the public for the festival use and preparation. So we are really excited to share this film and really could do so at Cosset Library. So we're thankful for the generous partners that we had at Cosset Library for opening up this space for us.
Fantastic. Okay, and let's talk a little bit about Tom Lee, his life and his legacy. First off, it's a 100th year anniversary of what he did. Such a hero, saving lives as a ship is going down, could not swim, but yet he saved, men, women, and children 100 years ago. Just an incredible story.
It is, and early this year, Mayor Paul Young declared 2025 in the city of Memphis as Tom Lee 100, just because of that story. And we're very inspired by it. It's really the values of Tom Lee Park. And we just want to encourage Memphians to show more courage, generosity, and humanity this year, just like Tom Lee did.
Awesome. I love it. And so, okay, so May 8th, if someone wants to be a part of Tom Lee's celebration at the Cosset Library, do they just show up? Do they need to register? What should they do?
We are asking that people register beforehand just so we can know how many chairs to set out. We have an Eventbrite link, and if you search Tom Lee 100, you'll be able to find the event. But of course, it's free and open to the public. Anyone can attend, and just come up to the second floor of Cosset Library.
Okay, so this is, once again, for our audience, Thursday, May 8th, 2 p.m., Cosset Library, downtown. Anything else before we let you go, Jasmine?
Yeah, I just want to say that May 8th is not the end of Tom Lee 100. We have a Sing at Memphis series, which I talked with you about, I think 2 weeks ago. That is also a part of the Tom Lee 100 celebration as we're gathering at a monument to listening, which is inspired by Tom Lee. In addition to Sing at Memphis, we are also going to have a Tom Lee 100 Lantern Parade on 901 Day. So stay tuned for more information on that. It is posted on the website, but we'll be pretty soon rolling out the workshop dates and the workshop registration.
Fantastic. All right, Jasmine Coleman with Memphis River Parks Partnership talking about Tom Lee's celebration, Tom Lee 100, Thursday, May 8th, 2 o'clock. And for more information, just search Tom Lee 100, and you should get all the details there. Jasmine, we appreciate you coming on the digital desk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. There is something that's cool that's going to happen here in Memphis. We know that there is so much talent out here when it comes to singing, especially. And there is a new series that is launching in Memphis. It's kind of a community sing series that Memphis River Parks Partnership is hosting. It is called Sing It Memphis, and I'm joined by a couple of ladies who are going to be a part of it. We have Carrie Lee and we have Jasmine Stokes, both of which joining us on the Action News 5 digital desk. So, Jasmine, let me begin with you. Tell me about this concept, this contest that's happening through Memphis River Parks Partnership. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. And basically, Memphis is such a music city, rich culture, rich history in music. And we really wanted to bring a collective experience that would bring joy and peace to the community. And we're really excited to kick things off this spring, this Saturday, with our first event at a Monument to Listening, which is my background in Tomley Park from 5 to 7 p.m.
Awesome, awesome. So over to you, Carrie. Now, we know that you're very talented. You're from the Memphis area. Tell us a little bit about your background. And I understand you're going to be touring with John Legend later this year, right? Good morning.
Yes, I am, and good morning to you. Yes, so born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I've always been into performing and creative arts. I went to Overton High School, where that's just what we did there. And yeah, like she said, Memphis is such a place full of rich history and music, and so I'm excited to partner with Memphis River Parks because this is the time. We need something uplifting, something that feels good, and I'm ready to do that. And yes, I will be touring with John Legend later this year for the Get Lifted anniversary tour. So I'm excited.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you both. So let's talk about the nitty gritty. You know, what this competition actually, how it works, how people can get involved, and how others can just watch. Jasmine?
Well, it's not a competition, excuse me, but this is a community sing. And basically, it's not a concert where we get to come and watch Carrie, but we will be singing together. So Carrie will actually have a lyric sheet ready. So it's kind of like karaoke. So you'll have the words in front of you. We'll also have hot tea at the event to get those vocal cords warmed up. And Carrie will have a set list for us to sing.
Okay, and is this something that is going to be happening one time? Is it happening several times? And tell me about the kind of curated lyrics that the songs are going to have, Carrie.
Absolutely. So this is something that will take place once a month, every third Saturday of the month, beginning, of course, this upcoming Saturday. Of course, in May, we will go to the fourth Saturday, but I've created this playlist full of songs that get you ready for springtime and spring cleaning, right? So all of us have those Saturday morning playlists that gets us dancing. So think Michael Jackson, Rock With You, think Shackles, Mary Mary, just different things. Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, the type of things that bring us joy. And of course, at this time, I decided to do sweet tea instead of hot tea. That way people can, feel a little lighter. The heat is heating up in here in Memphis, so I want to keep people cool.
That is awesome. I love it. Very cool. Very cool indeed. So if someone wanted to go online and just kind of look at the details and get more information about this, this great gathering that's happening every month, where can they go?
Well, they can find all events on the Memphis River Parks website at memphisriverparks.org. And then we also have that link to our Eventbrite event just for this series.
Okay, and Carrie, did you want to say anything?
Yes, if you search Sing It Memphis on Eventbrite, it'll pop up there for you as well. It's free to RSVP, and if you do that, you will have access to the playlist and stuff when I do send that out.
Fantastic. All right, Jasmine Stokes, Carrie Lee, we appreciate you coming on the digital desk and telling us about this new Memphis series, Sing It Memphis. Thanks so much. Good morning, Miss Pringle. Can you hear me?
Good morning, I can.
Okay,
Is this
great. We
Andrew?
are about 30 seconds away. Yes.
Okay.
All right, you sound great, look great. We'll talk to you in a second.
Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Teachers, boy, do they really make an impact or what? I think we can all remember a favorite teacher over the years. In elementary school, you might have had one, in middle school and in high school, even in college as well. Well, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and if you are looking for some ideas perhaps on ways to give back to that favorite teacher, or perhaps ways that your kids can give back to their teacher, we have just the guest to talk about that with you. I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by Becky Pringle. She is the president of the National Education Association. Becky, I appreciate you joining us this morning. So this is National Teacher Appreciation Week. What's the best way to give back to that teacher in our lives that we love so much? Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. It's so good to be with you. You know, I taught eighth graders the wonders of science for 31 years. And so I always love this time of year, and I still do. It gives everyone that chance to just say thank you. And I will tell you, as I travel all over this country, what I hear from teachers is that the best way to thank them this year is to actually show appreciation in action. So even if you're giving them a mug that says, "I heart my teacher," put a little note in that mug saying, I care about you. So I already sent a note to my member of Congress saying, don't cut funding to students with disabilities. I'm already putting on my social media, don't give money to vouchers because that takes schools, that the money away from my public schools. I love my public schools. So we're encouraging everyone to give that mug, but to put a note in that mug saying we appreciate you by taking action.
I love that idea, just putting a personal note saying thank you so much for what you've done for me or for my family or for my kids, that sort of thing. What are you hearing from teachers? I mean, are you hearing good things? Are you hearing things that could be better? What are you hearing from the teacher side about, you know, as we come upon National Teacher Appreciation Day?
I get to travel all over this country, including Tennessee. I can tell you, I actually, Andrew, have never been prouder to call myself a teacher than I am right now, because I see them doing the jobs they love and standing in gaps for kids all the time. But I will tell you, they are afraid for their students. They are fearful that they won't have the resources they need. Especially that's happening now, but especially come next school year, they're fearful that they won't be able to meet those individual needs of every student. And they love their jobs, and they want to make sure that their students have the food they need so they can learn, come to school ready to learn every day. They have the healthcare they need. All of those things are under threat right now as they see Congress making decisions about giving more money to billionaires with tax cuts and taking money away from our public schools. And so they are looking for parents and community members and students themselves to join them in making sure that we stand up for our students, fight for our public schools, and that they are appreciated for the incredible work they do every day.
So we broadcast in Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas. We have thousands, tens of thousands of students, tens of thousands of teachers. What's the best way this week that a student can give back to their favorite teacher? You mentioned a small little gift with a nice note inside. Anything else, Becky?
You know, there's nothing like the smile of a child and seeing them engaged in learning. And for our students to be actively involved, for them to be able to see themselves and others in their classrooms, for them to experience the joy of learning. That's the joy that our teachers all over this country look for. That's why they're doing these jobs. But they also know they can't stand in all those gaps by themselves. So as our students demonstrate their joy of learning, we also want our community members to demonstrate their appreciation of our teachers through action.
All right, what you can do for your favorite teacher on this National Teacher Appreciation Week. Becky Pringle, National Education Association President, joining us on the digital desk. Thank you so much for giving us some great ideas and what to think about on this special week. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, another live look from our High Five camera here in Midtown Memphis. A beautiful day, 56 degrees, 8:03. We're going to be talking about your top headlines and your forecast in 1 minute. All right, good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Let's get to some of our headlines this morning that we are following at this hour. It was a deadly overnight in the city of Memphis. There were shootings throughout the city, Hickory Hill, Midtown, and Frazier. In fact, in Frazier, there was a shooting where 5 people were hit by gunfire, including 2 who died. Action News 5, Stephanie Douglas has this update for us.
The latest information is that 2 men are dead from this early morning shooting at Infinity Sports Bar and Grill. It's right off of North Watkins and Overton Crossing Street. It happened around 2 a.m. this morning, and investigators say when they got on scene, it was a very chaotic scene. We see an owner right now just sweeping up the parking lot from everything that spilled out. I spoke to a couple people on scene who said they were inside the bar when the shooting happened, and they said that it stemmed from a fighting that spilled out into the parking lot. So that's all the information we know right now. We're still working to get more information, and as soon as we get more information, we'll bring it to you online and on air. Reporting, I'm Stephanie Douglas, Action News 5.
Okay, in other news that we are following at this hour, closing arguments from the Shelby County District Attorney's Office hoping to convince a jury to convict 3 men for the beating death of Tyre Nichols 2.5 years ago. We're looking ahead to day 2 of closing arguments in the trial there. The jury brought in from Hamilton County, the Chattanooga area, could begin deliberating later today. On trial, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, Tadarius Bean all face second-degree murder charges. They could be convicted on lesser charges like reckless homicide, voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault. We will continue to keep you posted here on Action News 5 for gavel-to-gavel coverage. Shelby County Sheriff's Office now looking to hire more than 330 correctional deputies. Sheriff's Office says applicants only need a high school diploma or GED and must be at least 17 years old to apply for the position. Applicants also do not have to live in Shelby County to be eligible. Benefits include paid training, advancement opportunities, and a $5,000 retention incentive, plus other incentives. Youth Villages has reached an agreement with the family of Legend Jones, a teen who died following a medical emergency at Youth Villages in 2023. The autopsy states that Jones went unresponsive while being physically restrained at Youth Villages. The autopsy says the cause of death is due to complications of a restraint, adding a factor of asthma as well. Memphis city leaders are working to make parking in downtown Memphis safer and cleaner. They're working on a plan to hold garage owners accountable. And if the plan is approved, it could take effect next summer. Their plan focuses on making sure garages are properly lit with compliance checks by an electrician. It would also include trash cans on every parking level, as well as biohazard disposable units for human waste. Owners could be fined hundreds of dollars for any violations found and not corrected within 48 hours. A heated discussion last night at the Shelby County Commission meeting prompting both parents of Shelby County Commissioner Ed Ford Jr. to speak in support of him. Commissioner Michael Whaley introduced 2 ordinances after Edmund Ford Jr. was federally indicted on several charges, including bribery and evading taxes. Yesterday, one of those ordinances passed. One ordinance would amend the county charter to define conflict of interest. The second ordinance amends the code of ethics and the number of people on the Ethics Commission. Edmund Ford Jr.'s dad, Memphis City Councilman Edmund Ford Sr., says this is a personal, attack on his son, and Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris is behind it. The second ordinance that was split is the definition of the word emolument that was passed. The entire ordinance will now go back to committee. Beautiful sky, beautiful conditions outside as you get going on this Tuesday morning. Let's talk about the forecast because some changes are on the way. Meteorologist Patrick Ellis has that.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 digital desk here on a Tuesday morning, starting off with sunshine that will start to fade behind clouds and eventually leading up to some shower chances as we head through towards this evening. Now, it won't rain all night long, but there will be at least a chance for a couple of passing showers through about 9 or 10 o'clock, and then things will calm down and they pick back up as we head into your day tomorrow as we turn into an active weather pattern. On and off rain chances, occasionally heavy, return as we head into this first full week of the month of May. Now, looking forward, this is a pattern that is very much locked up. It's active, but it's locked up. Area of low pressure pinwheeling over the Ohio River Valley and another area of low pressure over the Four Corners region. That is an omega block. And basically what that means is that things are not going to move quickly anytime soon. You see how there's another ridge back over here coming out of the Bermuda High building into the New England states, and then this cold cutoff low keeping the weather uncertain and unsettled across the Ohio River Valley, mid-Mississippi Valley as well. Then you got another hump in between, that one also featuring a surge of warmer air moving in across the upper plains, and then another ridge back out to the west. So again, it's a very amplified pattern that's cutting things off from making any drastic or major moves. What needs to happen, or what is going to eventually happen, as that this ridge here in the eastern portion of the United States starts to flatten out a little bit, and that allows for this low to start to lift out, and we start to get a little bit of progression, slowly but surely, but all the while another one's looming behind it to kind of bring it back in here. Eventually the pattern will break, but it's going to take probably until the early portion of next week before that happens. In between all of that, you're still going to have some opportunities for sunshine. You're still going to have some opportunities for some rain showers as well, and cooler temperatures than average. Average high this time of the year is almost 80 degrees. Take a look at your first alert futurecast. Again, we've had a couple of patches of fog early this morning. Otherwise, sunshine winning out early on. The clouds will gradually thicken up. Through the late afternoon, early evening hours, we'll start to see rain chances increasing. There could be a few passing showers again as we head through the early evening hours as an area of low pressure pivots over the southern areas of the state of Mississippi, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas. And we're right on the tail end of that. That will come and go, push down towards the south. We'll see a little bit of a lull through midnight. Then more scattered activity opens up again as we start to get that moisture coming in off the Gulf. So we'll see some scattered showers here and there as we start off the day on Wednesday. Temperatures starting off in the upper 50s and lower 60s. A lot of clouds across the area. Rain showers should taper off, though there could still be a few passing showers from time to time. Bulk of the rain, though, staying to the north as that frontal boundary kind of lifts back northward. Get another little swirl in the atmosphere to pivot across the southern portions of Missouri. That'll kick off another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the evening and overnight period of your Thursday. Comes and goes, and then the clouds backfill in as we head through Thursday night into your Friday. Now, chances for rain aren't going to be overwhelming. There's not one day that's going to be a complete washout, at least for us here locally, but there will be at least some opportunities for some scattered showers to contend with. The best rain chances for today really going to lean towards this evening as we will have some better rain chances as we go past sunset tonight. Another round of rain possible early tomorrow morning. Then the afternoon trends a little drier. We'll start off Thursday on a drier note, but in the day with some scattered showers and storms. I don't think it's going to be for everybody. And then even Friday, some opportunity for a few showers, primarily early in the day. The coverage starts to taper off during the afternoon hours. The weekend, maybe a few passing isolated showers here and there, and temperatures running below average for this time of the year. 78 the high temperature for today. Again, starting off with sunshine, clouds on the increase later on today. We'll add in those chances for rain after sunset this evening. Morning hours of your Wednesday opportunities for rain. Afternoon, more spotty activity, but the clouds hanging on tough, and that will keep us on the cooler note as we head throughout the course of the day. Starting off fairly quiet on Thursday. Most of the rain staying to the north of us during the evening and overnight period of Wednesday into early Thursday. Some thunderstorms possible, but not severe weather, so that's good news. We go into your Friday, the beginning of the Memphis Greek Festival this upcoming weekend. Not looking at that for Friday's activities. Of course, gates will open at 11 a.m. Trying to get through there for the drive-through at lunch. I think you're in decent shape. 69 degrees at 11 a.m. There might be a shower early on. Clouds will start to break up. And I think that we end the day with a little bit of brighter sky action. Temperatures will top out again in the middle 70s. Middle 70s expected for Saturday. Also, the Greek Festival continues Saturday. Rain chances will be a little bit lower on Saturday. But also, it bodes well for the Memphis in May Triathlon over at Shelby Farms. Temperatures in the upper 50s at 6 a.m., 9 a.m. and 61, closing in on 70 by lunchtime. And you'll notice Sunday a little bit warmer, a little bit more sunshine, though there will be another bank of clouds, maybe a few showers on Monday before we transition out of this pattern and warm back up pretty efficiently near 80 on Tuesday, middle 80s and upper 80s potentially by the middle and latter portion of next week.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. There are so many opportunities to go walk your dog, whether it's in a neighborhood, around your home, at dog parks. Now that it's spring and it's warming up, it feels amazing outside and it's the perfect time to walk your dog. The problem is when you see these kinds of things and you have your dog going to different areas, being social along with you, respiratory diseases increase as well. And that's why it's so important for pet owners to take proactive steps to keep their pets healthy during this time of year. Let's bring in someone to talk more about this topic. I'm joined now by Dr. Natalie Marks. She's with Merck Animal Health, joining us on the digital desk. Dr. Natalie Marks, good morning to you. Let's talk about what are some key things that pet owners should be mindful of so they can keep their dogs healthy and protected? Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Well, respiratory disease season, as you mentioned, is ramping up for dogs, and we see that peaking between Memorial Day and Labor Day and spiking in July. That might surprise a lot of dog owners out there because for humans, of course, we think of respiratory disease really ramping in the fall and winter. That's why now is the perfect time to talk to your veterinarian about your dog's risk and vaccination options so we can keep them safe and protected from diseases like canine influenza, canine parainfluenza, and Bordetella bronchoseptica. And these are common respiratory illnesses that are transmitted dog to dog or through contaminated surfaces like toys, leashes, and water bowls, or even from secretions from other dogs coughing and sneezing. And we see them easily spread at daycares and kennels, but as you mentioned, just outside on neighborhood walks. So if you're planning travel for the spring break or summer and contemplating boarding your dog, or you're just getting outside more because it's finally getting nicer, so important to talk to your veterinarian about having your dog vaccinated to avoid the spread of these diseases.
So tell me about some of the symptoms with these diseases. There's several you just mentioned. Can you just talk about some of the symptoms and ways to safeguard your dog with these diseases?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big three I mentioned: canine influenza, which is dog flu; canine parainfluenza; Bordetella bronchoseptica. The good news is most of the time these diseases are mild. So we can see things like cough, runny nose, fever, lethargy, or loss of appetite. But that persistent cough is really uncomfortable for your dog. And in severe cases, some of these diseases can progress to pneumonia, which can be life-threatening.
That sounds terrible. So let's talk about where we can get some of the best advice to kind of safeguard and let all those pet owners know, hey, look, this is what you need to do in order to protect your dog.
Yeah, pet parents ask me all the time, how can I protect my dog as much as possible from respiratory disease? The answer is always prevention through vaccination. And two preventative vaccinations from Merck Animal Health that I love and strongly recommend are the Novivac Intratrac Oral BBPI and the Novivac Next Canine Flu H3N2. Let me tell you a little bit about both. So the oral BBPI has two components: BB, Bordetella bronchoseptica, and PI, the canine parainfluenza. These are the two most causative agents of a syndrome most dog owners have heard about, which is kennel cough. And I love this vaccine because it's super comfortable. It's administered orally through an immunomister applicator, and it just allows us to gently mist the back of your dog's throat or mouth. And the nice thing about this, it's a stress-free experience, and it's can't miss coverage. The other is the canine flu vaccine, the Next Canine Flu H3N2. And this vaccine is low volume, preservative free. It optimizes protection for your dog against the most common canine influenza virus out there, which is H3N2, without compromising comfort or safety.
Natalie, where can we get more information about this? Is there a place online?
Absolutely. So if you want to learn more about the Novivac Intratrac Oral BBPI or the Novivac Next Canine Flu H3N2, or just vaccination options in general for your dog, visit merckanimalhealth.com. And don't forget, please visit your veterinarian and talk about your dog's individual risk and vaccination options so we can keep them as protected as possible this season.
Okay, Dr. Natalie Marks with Merck Animal Health. We appreciate your time on the digital desk. Very valuable information for so many people out there. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We are talking about the best pizza in town, the area's best Memphis barbecue, and a new special bakery that's opening in Memphis, in particular, Midtown Memphis. Let's bring in Commercial Appeal food reporter Ellen Chamberlain joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Ellen, there's a lot of topics you have set, ready, raring to go on this beautiful day. What's going on?
You're absolutely right, Andrew. And good morning to you. But any day in Memphis is a day to talk about lots of food. Let's just be honest, right? You're absolutely right about those topics, but first I'd love to give a quick shout out to Chef Arturo Layton of Good Fortune Co. down on South Main Street. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but Chef Arturo just competed on the craziest food competition that's probably ever been aired on American television. It's called 24 and 24 Last Chef Standing. It airs Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on Food Network. And on this program, they take 24 chefs. They give them 24 different challenges to compete in, and they have 24 continuous hours in which to compete. Nonstop, no breaks.
Wow.
Figure it out.
That is intense.
Right. But he went in,
gosh.
he had a great showing. He represented the
Okay.
city well, represented himself
Excellent.
well. And if you're curious to try his style of cooking, Good Fortune is in our city, right there on South Main Street.
Love it. Thank you for the heads up on that, Ellen.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, there's something that you mentioned that I'm really excited about. There is a new bakery coming to Midtown, specifically Overton Square. Jacques Louis Bakery. What you're looking at is a photo of the Kennys. They are the owners of Jacques Louis, and they have been baking, small batch baking from home for a few years, since right around the pandemic. And as the stars kind of aligned, and some people may be familiar with the 17 Berkshire Bakery that recently closed in Overton Square. Well, the Kennys are taking over that space with plans to open sometime this spring, right before summer kicks off. And what makes Jacques Louis so incredibly special is that everything, despite it tasting amazing and looking spectacular, is gluten-free. And you just don't see a lot of that out here. So if you check out my story on it, you'll kind of figure out how Savannah Kenny came up with the idea, how some personal health challenges led her to be empowered and to empower others, instead of sitting at home crying about all the sweet things and gluten fun things she couldn't eat. She created a path forward for herself and for many others.
I love it. I'm married to someone who is gluten-free because of an allergy, so she's very excited about this bakery coming online. It's supposed to be opening in May, right?
Yes, May is the target opening date. There is something I love to tell my fellow Memphians here is that, we should always give each other a little bit of grace and a little bit of patience, because if we get into the business side of things, because it's one bakery taking over another bakery, perhaps things with, like inspections and city approvals won't take too long, but you never know. So the target is the end of May, but we always try to give some grace. Stay tuned to the commercial appeal and, of course, to Jacques Louis's social media channels for the exact date, because there's supposed to be a huge celebration planned in Overton Square.
I love it.
Yeah, so let's move ahead because we have to give congratulations to Garibaldi's. We kept talking about who's got the best pizza, who's got it in town. Well, this is not me saying this. Memphians spoke, kind of overwhelmingly so, on that final push as we were voting through our pizza bracket. You're looking at Big Mike, and Michael Jr. Garibaldi on your screen there are the owners of Garibaldi's. It's one of those family businesses that, kind of started a little scrappy. Michael was a recent college grad from the University of Memphis. He saw the landscape back then and said, hey, we deserve our own pizzeria out here. And fast forward, to almost 55 years later, perhaps, and Garibaldi's has been all over the city, and they are beloved. And readers made sure to let me know. And they are very grateful to all of the readers for voting them as #1 pizza in the city. So they are 50 years in, and they're still tossing that dough in the air. So much love and gratitude to Garibaldi's. They were so kind and generous with their time, allowing me all in their kitchen, looking at the way that they bake up those fresh pies. So who's your favorite pie in Memphis?
Garibaldi's is really good. I've eaten there. It's wonderful. I'm looking at this. I'm hungry. But I have to say, I love Chow Baby in Collierville. That is, for me, that is the bee's knees, as they say.
I love it. Yes, the bee's knees. And Chow Baby was totally on the list. Love and gratitude to them, too, for all the amazing things that they bring out of their kitchen. But even though we just crowned Garibaldi's as our favorite pizza in the city, I got another bracket for you already. It's time to talk barbecue.
Oh boy. Uh-oh.
It's almost May. We got to do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as we decide, who's our favorite barbecue festival, Smoke Slam, the Memphis in May cooking competition. If you're like me and you want to be everywhere and eat a little bit of everything, you probably might not have too much time to go see our local folks. So I wanted to just find out who's got the top barbecue in the city. So the way this bracket is working is right now we're in the nominations phase. If you go to commercialappeal.com, you'll see my story there asking you to nominate your favorite barbecue in town. The top 16 will launch our bracket. We'll narrow it down and we will do the exact same thing that we did for pizza. Whoever gets that top spot will absolutely be featured on commercialappeal.com. Maybe you and I will get another opportunity to talk about them and talk about the things that Memphians say that they love so much. And I've only been in town for about 6 months now, so I'm still making my way across the barbecue landscape here. So I'm really excited to see these nominations come through so I can learn more about who else I need to try.
I'm excited to see it as well, Ellen. I can remember about 10, 15 years ago, I did an interview with a guy who wrote a book on 72 different barbecue recipes just in Shelby County alone. It was incredible. And they were all like, he highlighted all these different restaurants and all their signature, sauces and how they cook the barbecue and the way they cook it and that sort of thing. And I was just like blown away because there were 72 different ones, unique, locally owned restaurants that just focused on barbecue. So I am sure that as fierce and as emotional the pizza fight was, barbecue is going to be even more fierce.
Absolutely. I can believe that to be true. Before I get out of here, I'd love to give a shout out to everyone who competed this past weekend at the Hot Wing Festival. Boy, Memphis, you all definitely know how to do some food in the springtime. It was so much fun. And I met an amazing family with the team Smoke That Chick. And I just love to speak life over them and the wonderful things that they're doing. They had a whole barbecue thing going on. I think they had 5 or 6 different sauces. And their dad was their DJ. That's how we do Memphis family. It was a beautiful thing to see.
I love it. I love it. You're 6 months in and you're already part of the family. Ellen Chamberlain, food reporter at the Commercial Appeal. We always appreciate you coming on the digital desk, making us hungry, certainly this morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. Have you seen this picture? This is gorgeous. I mean, it's beautiful. It's 60 degrees. It's 8:30. This is a live look from our High 5 camera here in Midtown Memphis. Just a beautiful, beautiful sight. Another beautiful sight is Talisa Franklin joining us on the Action News 5 digital desk, always bringing a positive attitude and a positive bunch of events that are happening here in Memphis and the Mid-South. How are you, Talisa?
I am amazing. Today is a great day. It's just a great day to be alive and to be alive in Memphis, Andrew. We are so blessed.
We certainly are. In fact, my wife and I, we went downtown over the weekend, went to Riverbeat Music Fest. We had a great time. There were so many different factions of folks either coming out of the Redbirds game at AutoZone Park on Beale Street, some of the tourists, some people going to the Orpheum, checking out plays, and then the Music Fest. I mean, there was all kinds of buzz and beautiful weather, wonderful sunsets. It was just amazing. I loved it. So I know that was a positive thing for us, and I know you got more positive things upcoming.
It's always great positive things happening in Memphis, y'all. I'm telling you, when people say, oh, there's nothing to do, I don't know what you're talking about, because baby, right here in our city is always great things to do. And on this week, y'all, there's some really good things happening. And I just want to first and foremost celebrate my dear friend Bishop Tony Hastings, that has brought the revivals back to church. He has not had a revival in his church since COVID, y'all. And I'm super excited that he's brought the spring revival back. It's always a great time for great fellowshipping and great word. And let me tell you, he got some speakers. OMG. These speakers are amazing. They're right here in the city of Memphis, and they're pastor great churches. And what I love about what's happening at this spring revival at the New Bellevue Ministries, that everybody is working together for the common good of bringing people back to church. And so I want to invite everybody to meet me, because I am going, because I'm excited to go to a revival, y'all. And so it's happening. It starts tonight through the 8th. And it's happening at 7 o'clock nightly. Great parking, great security, great word is going to be going on. So listen, get there to New Bellevue Ministries at 672 North Tresvant. It's right between Summer and Jackson on that side of Tresvant. And make sure we get there, y'all. That tonight, I'm excited to hear what Pastor Robert Jones has to say. He always has a right now word. Then tomorrow, y'all, my dear friend, my dear brother, Pastor Dr. Donald Johnson. We all love him. He's just a great man of God. And then on Thursday is Dr. Terrence Taylor will be there. Listen, just every night's going to be great singing, great fellowshipping, and most of all, revival is back in the church, y'all. And so shout out to my dear friend, the Bishop Tony Hastings, for making sure you bringing the church back to revival. So if you're looking for something to do these next 3 nights, he's like, what can I do? What can I do? Baby, come to revival. We invite you out to church on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'll definitely be there to celebrate that we're back in church again at revival at night. So I'm excited. It's a great night spot to be at, all right? And then, y'all, I want to invite people. This young man is doing a diaper drive. And I love when our community comes together and see the needs of our community, right? And so we know we have some parents that sometimes just need a little bit more help. They have little bitty babies and they need some help. So listen, you can donate some diapers. He wants diapers donated up until tomorrow, which is May the 7th. If you're watching this maybe later, but definitely if you need diapers, he's giving diapers away on this Friday, May 9th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Listen, if you have children and you are in need, listen, we're a village. One thing about the Bluff City, we're a village that believe in taking care of each other. And so listen, make sure you come out to the Hollywood Library and get a Hollywood Community Center, 1560 North Hollywood, and get some diapers for your baby. If you don't need any diapers, why don't you donate it? Let's make sure we all be that village. They need diapers. They need baby wipes, and they need rash creams. Y'all know your mamas, we have babies have those little rashes. And sometimes I believe some of our parents just don't have the wherewithal to go out and get that little basic stuff. Sometimes we take for granted that we can go buy. So let's go buy some for somebody else. Diaper drive giveaway. You can drop off your diapers through May 7th. Or you can make a donation. Call Mr. James at 901-247-2185 and be a blessing as they're collecting diapers, baby wipes, and rash creams to be giving all those supplies away on this Friday at the Hollywood Community Center from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Let's make sure we get there and be a blessing, all right? Call that number and let's make sure we celebrate. And then, y'all, let me tell y'all already know when you get to June, I get all excited. I get super duper excited because, wow, it is Juneteenth in June, baby. And I'm excited about Juneteenth as always. Listen, join us for the 32nd annual Juneteenth Festival happening right here in the city of Memphis and Medical District Park, formerly known as Health Sciences Park, formerly known as Nathan Bedford Park. But just know that it's known for having great fun, creating memories. It's free admission. We have some amazing headliners as far as Cut Close, Changing Places, Eddie Valero, and so many more mini Memphis artists. Listen, it's all absolutely free. Come out and enjoy the great music, the great food, and the camaraderie of being together. Bring the kids out. It's going to be in a big health and wellness tent. So we know health and wellness is one of our biggest things in our community, and some of our people are challenged. And so we have all these health and wellness vendors. Now, if you are in health and wellness and you want to be at Juneteenth Festival, listen, I think you need to call us or go to the website at memphisjuneteenth.com so that you can be a part of the health and wellness event, because we are a healthy Memphis, and I'm excited that we do things different at Juneteenth. We not make sure you have a great time. We want you to be feeling well at the same time. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great time for all the things that we got going on, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, you know, having been a part of those Juneteenth celebrations with you in the past, Talisa, I know it's going to be a great, great time, no matter what. So rain or shine, it's always fun and always a great time with Talisa Franklin. Talisa, thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you, brother. Love you all.
Okay. Love you too. All right. Another live look from our high five camera here. As we go to break, 60 degrees, 8:37. We're back in 1 minute. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. It's already pool season, and before you know it, school's going to be out, and the family's going to be either hanging out at the pool or going to the lake or going to the beach, and you want to make sure you have water safety top of mind, just to make sure everything is A-OK throughout the spring and summer months. I'm joined right now by aquatics leader at Lifetime Fitness in Collierville, Lindsay Carter, joining me on the digital desk to talk about maybe some friendly reminders, some tips and tricks to keep everybody safe around the water this season. Lindsay, good morning to you. Tell us maybe some tips, some just friendly reminders out there, first off, of what people can do to make sure everybody is safe. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I think that the most important thing is making sure that you always have visual contact on your non-swimmer, and making sure that you are wearing Coast Guard approved life vest. Coast Guard approved life vest are those are the life vests that you don't blow air into. And so, you know, the simple safety around the pool, right? Which would include not running around the pool. You run around the pool, you could slip, fall, and an emergency could happen. So I think just putting that phone down, keeping eye contact. If your child or an adult is a non-swimmer, having someone that is a within 10 feet of them.
Okay, Lindsay, let me ask you this. You know, when do you recommend people, maybe with younger families, when do you recommend swim lessons? Do you recommend that early on or a little bit later? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the earlier the child goes through swim lessons, the more confident and succeeding in swim that they can be. We start at Lifetime, we start swim lessons at 3 months, but we also go all the way up to adult age. I don't think that you're too young to do swim lessons, and I do not believe that you're too old for swim lessons. Even if that consists of just learning your life-saving skills in the water, I don't think that there is a age that we should put on swim lessons. So we start at 3 months old, and then we do go all the way up to adult age. The earlier the better, obviously, but there's no age for swim lessons.
Okay, so we're looking at some video here of kids, hanging out on the pool. Before you know it, the school's going to be out. There's going to be a lot of days like this across Memphis and the Mid-South. So what other tips should we recommend for the folks out there just to make sure everybody is safe this year?
Right, absolutely. We do make sure that all the children pass a 25-10 test. What our 25-10 rule is, if the child cannot swim 25 meters, then an adult swimmer needs to be 10 feet. I think that can go for the community families as well. We also making sure that you're taking breaks. We recommend no longer than 2 hours. So every 2 hours, you can take breaks before that 2 hour mark, but we do at least 2 hours. Those breaks need to consist of reapplying sunscreen, hydrating, resting, maybe a light snack, and just getting out of the water so the child can regroup or the adult can regroup from the fun.
Okay, good. And tell me about how many people should be, I guess, lifeguarding or watching the pool during these times when, kids are playing?
Right. So we do have ratios for our summer camp that we offer at Lifetime. We do a 1-to-3 ratio for non-swimmers and a 1-to-6 ratio for swimmers. For lifeguards, it's 2 lifeguards per 25 kids for our outdoor pool. We typically have 7 to 8 lifeguards on duty watching during the summertime. Indoor pool, it is a little bit different. It's 1 guard per 25, but when we do open our outdoor pool, we do have 2 guards per 25 kids. So roughly about 7 to 8 guards on duty during our pool season.
Where do parents often make mistakes from your perspective? Where do people kind of get in trouble?
Technology, phones, getting out of the water when your child is still in the water, taking your eyes off the water. I think a lot of times the parents like, yeah, my child can do that. And your child may be able to do that. I think that when there are a ton of children in the pool and everyone's having fun, sometimes the child may look at another child and start doing what they're doing, maybe not knowing that that requires a different skill, that child's a different age. I think that and I'm a mom as well of 3. And so as a parent, your priority needs to always be to be watching your child, and try to stay off the phone, try to stay in the water, and then realize that they may need swim lessons, right? Every child needs a refresher when it comes to swim because most of the time they take that winter season off. They're not in the pool as much. So just acknowledging that, let's get a refresher. Let me make sure that all the skills are still there. And then realizing that sometimes those skills can fall back to make sure that we're not taking our minds and thoughts off of like, okay, well, maybe they do need more help so I think it's just really paying attention to those signs and cues. And then obviously that phone on the pool, wanting to scroll through social media and we take our eyes off the pool, but where our child is, I think is a huge thing that parents come across.
Put the phone down. Yes, Lindsay Carter.
Yeah.
All right. We appreciate those tips for a safe, happy, and healthy swim season all season long. Lindsay, thank you for joining us on the Digital Desk. We appreciate the knowledge. Okay, back here in the Action News 5 digital desk. Well, guess what? We are approaching Smoke Slam 2025 in downtown Memphis at Tomley Park, May 15th, 16th, and 17th. Always a great time to talk about Memphis when it comes to barbecue and all the teams and all that gorgeous food. I'm joined now on the Action News 5 digital desk by Al Fragoni. He is an Argentinian pitmaster based in Texas, and he is joining us on the digital desk to talk about Smoke Slam this year. Al, good morning to you. So tell me what you're looking forward to the most when it comes to Smoke Slam. Good morning.
Hey, how are you guys? Thank you for having me. Well, Smoke Slam is always it's probably our favorite party or event in the year. What we are looking for is to interact with the people, see their reactions when they try our food, right? That's a special. It's a special time for sure.
No question about it. I want to show video once again to our audience because it looks amazing down there. Of course, all that barbecue. What made you're from Argentina, you're now based in Texas. Tell me about your pilgrimage to Memphis and barbecue and being a pitmaster. Tell me about that.
Well, COVID did it. Well, first, being from Argentina is not a choice, right? You have to do open fire. That's what we do in Argentina. This is the highest beef consumption per capita in the world. We eat a lot of asado, we call it down there. So then I'm going to make it short, the story. 25 years ago, I married a Texan. So since then, my life has been between this and, to my understanding, American and Argentinian. They're probably the two biggest barbecue cultures in the world. That's what I do. I fusion that, and since COVID, I started doing like a business, and I've been traveling around. And last year, I connected with the people from Smoke Slam, and we went there with the whole team. We cook whole hogs, whole cabritos, lamb, brisket, you name it. We took a team of 20 people. We served probably 10,000 samples, and it was a blast. And what we do also is a show, right? We do open fire cooking, so everything is very visual. It's very nice. It's very cool to go to watch and also to try the food.
Tell me your secret. I mean, you don't have to go into detail, Al, but tell me what is the main thing. It could be your style of cooking. It could be a certain ingredient. What do you think makes you a championship pitmaster?
Okay. All right. What I love to do, for me, the secret is the ingredients. Deal with good ingredients, right? Good sauces, good proteins, and then let the fire and the smoke do what they do, right? But the key is to have good ingredients. If you start with that, you're secure to have a good final product.
Absolutely. And there's so many people you mentioned just interacting with other teams, other pitmasters, the crowds that are there. What are you looking forward to the most? Is it just meeting other folks?
Yeah, so we know a lot of the people coming there. So the barbecue community is very special. Everybody is like super nice, super helpful. And again, the people that come to you and you have food for them, it's always a good time, right? It's like people are always smiling, are always like with a good vibe. This kind of event is like as a whole is such a good vibe, good food, good music, right? Nothing wrong with that. So yeah, me and my team, we are looking forward to this event like whole year.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's relatively new, the Smoke Slam, that is. I mean, barbecue is embedded in our culture here. What would you say to someone to get them to come downtown to Tomley Park to Smoke Slam?
They're kind of the same. Like if you want to have a good time, eat good food, be by the river, listen to good music. I think it's a no-brainer. If you're in Memphis, you have to come. The tickets are very affordable, and what you get for those tickets is like so much. So I would recommend come with your family, come with a group of friends, and spend the whole day because again, it's a great time.
All right, Al Fragoni joining us, an Argentinian pitmaster via Texas, coming to be a part of Smoke Slam 2025, joining us on the digital desk. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck May 15th, 16th, and 17th, Al. We appreciate your time. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. I'm Andrew Douglas. Let's get to some of the top stories we are following at this hour, and that includes a violent night across the city of Memphis, including a deadly shooting that happened in Fraser. We have Action News 5 Stephanie Douglas with this update.
The latest information is that 2 men are dead from this early morning shooting at Infinity Sports Bar and Grill. It's right off of North Watkins and Overton Crossing Street. It happened around 2 a.m. this morning, and investigators say when they got on scene, it was a very chaotic scene. We see an owner right now just sweeping up the parking lot from everything that spilled out. I spoke to a couple people on scene who said they were inside the bar when the shooting happened, and they said that it stemmed from a fighting that spilled out into the parking lot. So that's all the information we know right now. We're still working to get more information, and as soon as we get more information, we'll bring it to you online and on air. Reporting, I'm Stephanie Douglas, Action News 5.
Okay, Stephanie Douglas reporting for us there. Closing arguments from the Shelby County DA's office, hoping to convince a jury to convict 3 men for the beating death of Tyre Nichols 2.5 years ago. We're looking ahead to day 2 of closing arguments, set to begin in just a few minutes. In that trial of 3 former police officers, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, Tadarius Bean, all face second-degree murder charges. They could be convicted on lesser charges like reckless homicide, voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault. This jury has been brought in from Hamilton County, Tennessee. That's the Chattanooga area. Could begin deliberations later today. Shelby County Sheriff's Office looking to hire more than 330 correctional deputies. The Sheriff's Office says applicants need only a high school diploma, GED, and must be at least 17 years old to apply for the position. Applicants also do not need to live in Shelby County to be eligible. Benefits include paid training, advancement opportunities, a $5,000 retention incentive, and more. To Youth Villages now, where they have reached an agreement with the family of Legend Jones, a teen who died following a medical emergency at Youth Villages in 2023. The autopsy states Jones went unresponsive while being physically restrained at Youth Villages. It says that the cause of death is due to complications of restraint with an adding factor of asthma. Memphis City leaders working to make parking garages in downtown Memphis safer and cleaner. They're working on a plan here to hold garage owners accountable. If the plan's approved, it could take effect next summer. Focuses on making sure garages are properly lit. It would also require trash cans on every level, as well as biohazard disposable units for human waste. Owners would be fined hundreds of dollars for any violations found and not corrected within 48 hours. A heated discussion last night at the Shelby County Commission. It prompted both parents of Shelby County Commissioner Edmund Ford Jr. to speak out in support of their son. Commissioner Michael Haley introduced 2 ordinances after Edmund Ford Jr. was federally indicted months ago on several charges, including bribery and evading taxes. Yesterday, one of those ordinances passed. One ordinance would amend the county charter to define a conflict of interest. The second ordinance amends the code of ethics and the number of people on the ethics commission. Edmund Ford's dad, Memphis City Councilman Edmund Ford Sr., says this is a personal dispute between his son and Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris. A second ordinance that was split required the definition of the word emolument. That passed. The entire ordinance will now go back to committee. Let's get another check of our forecast right now with meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 digital desk here on a Tuesday morning, starting off with sunshine that will start to fade behind clouds and eventually leading up to some shower chances as we head towards this evening. Now, it won't rain all night long, but there will be at least a chance for a couple of passing showers through about 9 or 10 o'clock, and then things will calm down and then pick back up as we head into your day tomorrow as we turn into an active weather pattern. On and off rain chances, occasionally heavy, return as we head into this first full week of the month of May. Now, looking forward, this is a pattern that is very much locked up. It's active, but it's locked up. Area of low pressure pinwheeling over the Ohio River Valley and another area of low pressure over the Four Corners region. That is an omega block. And basically what that means is that things are not going to move quickly anytime soon. You see how there's another ridge back over here coming out of like the Bermuda High building into the New England states, and then this cold cutoff low keeping the weather uncertain and unsettled across the Ohio River Valley, mid-Mississippi Valley as well. Then you got another hump in between, that one also featuring a surge of warmer air moving in across the upper plains, and then another ridge back out to the west. So again, it's a very amplified pattern that's cutting things off from making any drastic or major moves. What needs to happen, or what is going to eventually happen, is that this ridge here in the eastern portion of the United States starts to flatten out a little bit, and that allows for this low to start to lift out, and we start to get a little bit of progression, slowly but surely, but all the while another one's looming behind it to kind of bring it back in here. Eventually the pattern will break, but it's going to take probably until the early portion of next week before that happens. In between all of that, you're still going to have some opportunities for sunshine. You're still going to have some opportunities for some rain showers as well, and cooler temperatures than average. Average high this time of the year is almost 80 degrees. Take a look at your first alert futurecast. Again, we've had a couple of patches of fog early this morning. Otherwise, sunshine winning out early on. The clouds will gradually thicken up. Through the late afternoon, early evening hours, we'll start to see rain chances increasing. There could be a few passing showers again as we head through the early evening hours as an area of low pressure pivots over the southern areas of the state of Mississippi, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas. And we're right on the tail end of that. That will come and go, push down towards the south. We'll see a little bit of a lull through midnight. Then more scattered activity opens up again as we start to get that moisture coming in off the Gulf. So we'll see some scattered showers here and there as we start off the day on Wednesday. Temperatures starting off in the upper 50s and lower 60s. A lot of clouds across the area. Rain showers should taper off, though there could still be a few passing showers from time to time. Bulk of the rain, though, staying to the north as that frontal boundary kind of lifts back northward. Get another little swirl in the atmosphere to pivot across the southern portions of Missouri. That'll kick off another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the evening and overnight period of your Thursday. Comes and goes, and then the clouds backfill in as we head through Thursday night into your Friday. Now, chances for rain aren't going to be overwhelming. There's not one day that's going to be a complete washout, at least for us here locally, but there will be at least some opportunities for some scattered showers to contend with. The best rain chances for today really going to lean towards this evening, as we will have some better rain chances as we go past sunset tonight. Another round of rain possible early tomorrow morning. Then the afternoon trends a little drier. We'll start off Thursday on a drier note, but in the day with some scattered showers and storms. I don't think it's going to be for everybody. And then even Friday, some opportunity for a few showers, primarily early in the day. The coverage starts to taper off during the afternoon hours. The weekend, maybe a few passing isolated showers here and there, and temperatures running below average for this time of the year. 78 the high temperature for today. Again, starting off with sunshine, clouds on the increase later on today. We'll add in those chances for rain after sunset this evening. Morning hours of your Wednesday opportunities for rain. Afternoon, more spotty activity, but the clouds hanging on tough, and that will keep us on the cooler note as we head throughout the course of the day. Starting off fairly quiet on Thursday. Most of the rain staying to the north of us during the evening and overnight period of Wednesday into early Thursday. Some thunderstorms possible, but not severe weather, so that's good news. We go into your Friday, the beginning of the Memphis Greek Festival this upcoming weekend. Not looking at bad for Friday's activities. Of course, gates will open at 11 a.m. Trying to get through there for the drive-through at lunch. think you're in decent shape. 69 degrees at 11 a.m. There might be a shower early on. Clouds will start to break up. And I think that we end the day with a little bit of brighter sky action. Temperatures will top out again in the middle 70s. Middle 70s expected for Saturday. Also, the Greek Festival continues Saturday. Rain chances will be a little bit lower on Saturday. Also, it bodes well for the Memphis in May triathlon over at Shelby Farms. Temperatures in the upper 50s at 6 a.m., 9 a.m. and 61, closing in on 70 by lunchtime. And you'll notice Sunday a little bit warmer, a little bit more sunshine, though there will be another bank of clouds, maybe a few showers on Monday before we transition out of this pattern and warm back up pretty efficiently near 80 on Tuesday, middle 80s and upper 80s potentially by the middle and latter portion of next week.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We have some news that we are following right now here on the Digital Desk. The Memphis Police Department just released a statement here about a shooting that took place several hours ago. This is overnight, Tuesday overnight around midnight here in Midtown Memphis, right by our studio, at 1960 Union Avenue. This is TJ Mulligan's on Madison, and the Memphis Police Department says there was a shooting that took place outside. Investigators telling us that it happened just before midnight. When officers arrived, they spoke with a security guard who informed them that shots had been fired. The security guard then told police he was approached by a woman who said that there were people trying to break into her car, a Dodge Charger. When the security guard walked outside, he saw 4 men wearing all black and ski masks trying to enter this vehicle on Madison. The security guard then shouted. The suspects then began firing several shots. The guard fired shots back. No one was hit, and the suspects took off. There is no other suspect information at this time. The officer said that the 4 fled in a black Infiniti with temporary tags. So the good news is that no one was hit by these gunshots, but these suspects did get away. And so police are investigating this scene right now. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. As spring is blooming, so does allergy season. Tell me about it. It may trigger all kinds of flare-ups for millions of people, especially those living with eczema. It leads to an increase of itchiness and inflammation and a lot of discomfort out there. Joining me right now on the Digital Desk to talk more about this issue is Dr. John Browning. He's Chief of Dermatology at Children's Hospital of San Antonio, and Leon Toinette, who cares for a 7-year-old daughter dealing with eczema. Good morning to you both. Dr. Browning, I want to begin with you. I understand you have children that have eczema. Talk to our audience about what exactly is it and some of the biggest challenges for some of those people out there. Good morning. I do not hear you, doctor. For some reason, I don't hear anything.
Okay.
Now I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Okay, great. Yeah, so as a pediatric dermatologist as well as parent of 2 teens with eczema, they've had eczema since they were kids, I can definitely relate to the frustration of the constant itching, the red cracked skin, and the heartache of eczema. Believe it or not, there's 26 million Americans that suffer from atopic dermatitis or eczema, including 9.6 million kids. And there is a lot of frustration in not being able to find the right treatment. I know with my own kids, we had lots of sleepless nights and vacations that could be impacted because the eczema would flare. Joining with me now is Leon Toinette, and I've gotten to know her as well as her daughter Casey, who I've taken care of for many years, and she can relate to the frustration and the constant itching, dryness, cracked skin as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Leon Toinette, go ahead. Tell me about your 7-year-old daughter and how eczema has affected her.
Oh, absolutely. My daughter Casey is very vibrant. She's such a bright light. She enjoys swimming and musical theater and all the things associated with childhood. However, from birth to around age 5, her skin was dominated with redness, dryness, and constant itching. In its heightened state, her skin was so delicate that the lightest touch could cause her skin to break and bleed. Now, as parents, as you can imagine, her father and I had to be cautious about who could hold her and really manage with her. So it was difficult to explain as well as difficult to understand for friends and family. We would later find that Casey also has multiple allergies, anywhere from food to lotions to pollen, even some eczema treatments that were available for her age, as well as some of the known home remedies could trigger a reaction for her. Now, much like with Dr. Browning's children, Casey struggled. And when you have that itching going on, it compromises the integrity of the skin's protective barrier. So we had to constantly monitor her. Now, I tried different things. I tried cool cloth. I tried special baths, but nothing seemed to help her. It was an endless, daunting struggle.
Okay, so Leon Toinette, let me ask you again, how has your daughter been able to find relief, and how do you help her kind of navigate this, not just for now, but for later in life too?
Oh, yes. Happy to answer this one. Now, after trying multiple treatments, we were introduced to the Vitamina trials by Dr. Browning and his team, which we are definitely grateful for. Since then, Casey's eczema has been a lot easier to manage. And I believe my favorite part is the quiet peacefulness of not focusing on it 24/7. But also, I didn't do this alone. I had help, and I advise everyone to get help. Talk to your doctor or dermatologist and find a treatment that works for you and your family.
Okay, and Dr. Browning, tell me more about how patients or people living with eczema can find relief, and what do you have for parents that are trying to manage eczema for their children?
Well, don't get frustrated. Eczema can be quite frustrating, but there's hope. This time of year during allergy season, we do see lots of flares, and I spent 4 years of my life in Middle Tennessee going to college, so I know about allergy season in Tennessee. But in December 2024, the FDA approved Vitamina Tapinarof Cream 1%. It's an Organon product. That's who we're here with today. And Vitamina is the first and only steroid-free cream that's approved for adults and kids ages 2 years of age and older with eczema. It can be used anywhere on the body, including the face, the sensitive areas, and there's no time restriction with it. There's also no black box warning. Of course, it is a prescription product, so I would encourage you to talk to your doctor more about it. In the trials, it was well tolerated. There were some common adverse reactions that occurred in 1% or more patients, such as lower and upper respiratory tract infections, folliculitis, headache, asthma, vomiting, ear infection, pain in the extremity, and abdominal pain. But again, overall, it was well tolerated, and we saw 46% of our patients achieve clear or almost clear skin in 8 weeks, compared to 18% of the patients that were receiving just the cream alone without any active ingredients.
Okay, Dr. John Browning and Leon Toinette, we appreciate your time on the digital desk explaining for us the problem, the solutions, and how to deal with it all. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. More Americans than ever are expected to reach retirement age this year. And according to the latest Fidelity Investments State of Retirement Planning Study, many understandably are a little concerned about, in fact, pulling the trigger and retiring. Here to discuss what we need to know.
This is the framework that he was taught in the police academy, and it's the framework that follows him into the field. And what it does, it serves to protect. It serves to protect the officer who is making decisions, making choices along the way in his day. And it also protects the public because it gives the officers some certainty as to how they should behave in any given situation. When we were in Chattanooga, I think I gave you some examples of that. The physical presence, you're driving on the interstate and you see a police car parked up ahead, diagonal to where you are driving, and you figure, well, that must be, there must be monitoring traffic, and you slow down. So that is basically a command that you slow down. And just the presence of the police allows that to happen. The verbal warnings, if you're driving down that same highway and you see a sign that says no tolerance, well, that could be a verbal warning, if you will. And then verbal commands, driving down the same road and traffic is blocked. Officers are directing traffic and you go to where you are commanded to go. Chemical agents don't enter into this illustration, but they are very much part of this response to resistance continuum because they're the next step. And of course, chemical agents are things like OC spray or pepper spray or whatever you call it, that can be used to disable someone who is not complying, to allow them to be handcuffed and searched. If that doesn't work, the next step is empty hands control, and it has both soft and hard. Empty hands control, soft would be where you are leading a suspect somewhere, and the hard would be where you're actually using a fist or a foot. And those things are specifically set out in the rules that the police follow. Impact weapons, that could either be the taser or it could be the ASP baton that Officer Mills was talking about. And then finally you get to the force that no one wants to see, but sometimes is a part of policing, and that is deadly force. And understand that when they are taught these concepts, they are not taught that you follow these in lockstep. You follow these as the circumstances require. So you could go, and you'll see in a minute an example of you could go all the way to deadly force to begin with, and then back off of it once you see that, once you get a better idea of what the situation is. We'll see that happen. But that's what he's taught when he was in the academy, and that's what he carried into the field with him, and that's what sets the level of professionalism. Sometimes in the jury instructions, you'll see the term standard of care. Well, this would be what they're referring to as the standard of care when you have to deal with that in the jury instructions. So Mr. Haley chose to go into the rather dangerous or relatively dangerous area of the Scorpion team. The Scorpion team had a specific purpose, and that was to use data to figure out what precincts you're seeing most crime in, and then flooding that zone for a period of time, and getting crime under management there. And then if the crime changes location, the Scorpion team changes location. But every day They are going into the most crime-infested areas of Memphis, and they are dealing with some of the most dangerous criminals on our streets. And they're doing it professionally. They have a code. People that they're dealing with, their code is the code of the streets. And it's up to the officers to follow their code in dealing with people who are non-compliant. Enter Tyre Nichols. Now, Tyre Nichols would not necessarily be one of the people that would fit the description of the type of person that the Scorpion team is looking for. The Scorpion team is looking for stolen cars. They were looking for people with warrants for their arrest. They were looking for large amounts of drugs, and they were looking for dangerous weapons, i.e. guns. And on January 7th of 2023, Tyre Nichols didn't fit that profile. He wasn't driving a stolen car. He wasn't, didn't have any guns in the car with him, and he had no warrants for his arrest. So he would not be somebody that the Scorpion team would be interested in. In fact, that's sort of the really tragic part of this entire case, because practically speaking, had Mr. Nichols pulled over when he got the blue lights and submitted to the officer's questioning or whatever, in all likelihood, they wouldn't have arrested him. They could have seen a small amount of drugs in the car. They're not concerned about that. They're looking for the big fish, not the little fish. They could see some credit cards in there. They wouldn't even give that a thought. Members of the Scorpion team wouldn't. And the encounter would have ended. He would have left, and you wouldn't have to be here from Chattanooga. But Mr. Nichols had a choice. He had a choice to do what law-abiding citizens do, and that is to pull over and talk to the police, or to speed up. And tragically, he chose to speed up. Now, the Scorpion team didn't know Tyre Nichols. They never heard of him. He's never come across their radar as far as anybody can tell. The car he was driving apparently wasn't a car that had been used in other crimes that the officers may have recognized. So what was it that brought them together, the Scorpion team and Tyre Nichols? Well, one of the things the Scorpion team is good at is following clues. And whether Mr. Nichols meant to or not, he was giving off clues that brought up the antenna of the Scorpion team. First of all, when the blue light started flashing, he didn't pull over. In fact, not only did he not pull over, he sped up, and you can see on Officer Hemphill's speedometer how fast Officer Hemphill was having to go to try to catch up with him. He sped up, and he did something that the Scorpion team was really bewildered, because people run from the police in Memphis all the time because they know there's a no chase policy, and the police have come to accept that, and they say, well, that one got away. I can't chase, puts too many people in danger. So the police, that's not foreign to them, having somebody run away from them and never catching them. But what is foreign to them is having someone run away from them and then stop at a red light. That's weird. That's suspicious to them. And then when they saw the car at the red light, it had tinted windows, they couldn't see in it. So their antennae were up. And I want to take a look for a moment. this stop. And as I have gotten older, when people come to me and they're upset about something, and I found the best way to deal with that is just, whoa, just slow down. Let's slow down. Let's talk about it. We'll figure it out. And so that's what I want to do here. I want to slow this down a bit and take a look at what happened. This is Officer Hemphill's body-worn camera. And we'll take it up to where Officer Hemphill got out of the car at 20:24:44. And at this point, you can see Mr. Nichols' car is on the right, and Officer Haley's car is on the left. That Officer Martin's car is up ahead of Mr. Nichols' car, and Officer Martin is standing at the passenger side of Mr. Nichols' vehicle. As Mr. Hemphill walks closer, you see Mr. Hemphill pull out his service weapon. Now, service weapon would be deadly force. And you'll see in a moment that not only did Officer Hemphill have the service weapon out, but as you look at Mr. Haley, he has his service weapon in his hand, and he's putting it in the holster. That's because he's looked in the car and he's seen what's in there, so it's no longer a mystery. So now it falls from a deadly force incident to something much less than that. Probably a soft hands incident, which we'll see. And he holsters that at 20:24:51. Then we see Officer Haley reaching in to pull Mr. Nichols out of the car. And just as he starts coming out, we see him go back in again, indicating perhaps, now I don't know for a fact, and it's you for the jury to figure it out, but perhaps Mr. Nichols was already starting to struggle at that point, or he wouldn't have had to go back into the car like that. But he pulls him out, and as Officer Hemphill testified, he put Mr. Nichols in the A-frame. Now remember what the A-frame is. The A-frame is the hinge of the driver's side of the car. And it's a good place to put a suspect when you're trying to handcuff them because they can't go anywhere. And you can see at 20:24:56 the back of Mr. Haley and then the face of Mr. Nichols. And you can't really tell on Mr. Nichols whether he's turning his head to look at Mr. Haley or whether he's facing Mr. Haley, but we do remember Officer Hemphill's testimony that as he got up closer, he could see Mr. Nichols I think he used the term, he spun around and faced Mr. Haley. Well, at that point, Officer Haley is unable to get him cuffed if he's facing Officer Haley. And so Officer Hemphill comes to help Officer Haley. And then there's some grappling that goes on, and it's hard to tell from the camera exactly what's going on, but you can see where they remove Mr. Nichols from the car, and Mr. Nichols is standing there, Officer Hemphill holding with one hand, another officer on the other side holding him, and Mr. Nichols is not in a position with his arms behind his back. As we go forward, he moves over and turns toward the officers. And at that point, we don't know for sure at what point Officer Hemphill heard Officer Martin say, "Get your hand off my gun," but it would have to have been around in this area somewhere. Because shortly after we're looking at this, we see that Mr. Nichols is taken to the ground. And at 20:25:20, we see that he's clearly sitting on the ground. He has his left leg extended out in what we have referred to previously as the bladed position. Officer Hemphill's hand is on his shoulder, and Officer Haley and Martin are standing in front of him. All three officers are telling him, get on your stomach, get on your stomach. But we can see at 20:25:21 that Mr. Nichols is debating with them about that. You may recall Mr. Nichols saying, okay, 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 but he was doing that with his voice, but he wasn't doing okay with his body. He was not complying with their demands. And here he is still in the bladed position, arguing with them about it at 20:25:21. At this point, they push him to the ground, Officer Hemphill does, and holding on to Mr. Nichols' left hand would be Officer Martin, and Officer Haley is on the other side of Officer Martin. Officer Haley then approaches Mr. Nichols at 20:25:26 and eventually grabs Mr. Nichols' right hand to try to get his right hand behind his back. However, and you can see him get the right hand at 20:25:30. However, it's impossible to get the right hand behind the back when he's leaning on the right arm. And we see Officer Martin try to force Mr. Nichols' left arm at 20:25:32 behind his back. But that does little good until Officer Haley is able to do the same thing with the right arm. And Mr. Nichols is continuing to resist that as well. At this point, 20:25:36, we see Officer Haley goes to his knees. He's dealing still with Mr. Nichols' right hand, and Officer Haley eventually decides that unless Mr. Nichols is compelled in some other way to comply, he is not going to comply. And at 20:25:46, we see Officer Haley pull out the OC spray and spray it. Now, what we know now is that when that happened, the spray hit Officer Haley, and apparently it hit him directly because of the level of disabling it did to him. And we see at 20:25:47 that Officer Hemphill now has the taser out, and he's threatening to taser Mr. Nichols. And so we know at this point in the video, Officer Haley can't see anything because he just got it in the eye with his OC spray at 20:25:48. And then there is a scuffle where Officer Hemphill's camera is obscured from seeing exactly what's going on. But you remember Officer Hemphill testifying that when Mr. Nichols got up, that he ran toward the police car, which was open. That was the police car he was running toward was Mr. Haley's car, and the door was open. However, Mr. Nichols did not get into that car, and at 20:25:57, Mr. Nichols is running on his way to Ross Road, evading the officers. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Mr. Stegall to take over the controls, and through the magic of technology, we are going the magic of technology, Mr. Stingle is going to help us be in two places at one time. So go ahead and start playing that at 20, 25, 57.
Where it rains at Ross. Tasers deployed. Suspect is running down Ross. Young male, black, slim build, blue jeans, and a hoodie. Step down on Ross. That's what we last saw. What's up? Yes. All right, hang on. Ready? All right, just straight. One of the problems with the bachelor. All right, your car's right in front of you. This is my car, you're gonna walk. All right, hang on. Where's your water? Okay, I got you. Good boy. Good. Ready. Negative 2938. Where are my damn glasses at? That again? Yeah. I can't see jack shit, dude. My glasses when he was fighting me. Later, we just saw him running down Ross. What made you laugh? Yeah. What's up? Right eye. All right, ready? Yeah. Well, right eye. That way. Ladies and gentlemen, at 20:29:54, Tyre Nichols was caught on video on Ross Ridge hiding from the police.
Did you also read that I deployed my taser? Thin male black, blue jeans, and a plaid jacket.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 20:32:22, Officer Bean has now spotted Mr. Nichols and has begun chasing.
You good right now? Can you at least open your eyes?
At 20:32:41, Officer Bean is able to catch Mr. Nichols and tackle him. At 20:33:12, Officer Mills pepper sprays Tyre Nichols.
Martin and all them are over there chasing him. Shit, you sprayed me too, but luckily you didn't get my eyes just on my eyebrow. Oh, just stomp his ass.
At 20:33:53, Officer Smith radios for more cars and more officers at Castlegate. Officer 20:33:55, Officer Martin removes his body-worn camera.
I hope they stopped with that. Smith was going for other cars because him and Martin chasing him.
At 20:34:14, Officer Martin delivers his first kick to the head of Tyre Nichols. At At 20:34:27, Officer Martin delivers his second kick to the head of Tyre Nichols. As you can see, at 20:34:41, Officer Haley leaves Ross and Raines and is on his way to Castlegate. At 20:34:49, Officer Smith radios that the suspect, Mr. Nichols, is still fighting. At 20:34:54 at Castlegate, Officer Mills opens his ASP baton. At 20:35:01, Officer Mills delivers the first strike with his ASP baton. 1 second later, at 20:35:02, Officer Mills delivers his second strike with the ASP baton. 3 seconds after that, at Castlegate, Officer Mills delivers his third strike with the ASP baton. At 20:35:14, Officer Martin delivers his first strike with his fist to the head of Tyre Nichols. Three seconds later, at 20:35:17, Officer Martin delivers his second fist strike to the head of Tyre Nichols. At 20:35:24, Officer Martin delivers his third strike to the head of Tyre Nichols. 3 seconds later, at 20:35:27, Officer Martin delivers his fourth strike to the head of Tyre Nichols. And 2 seconds after that, Officer Martin delivers his fifth strike to the head of Tyre Nichols. At 20:35:32, Officer Haley radios and asks where they are located. Officer Mills gets on and responds that where they are at Castlegate. At 20:36:15, Officer Haley arrives at Castlegate. At 20:36:45, Officer Haley gets on the radio and requests medical care for Tyre Nichols. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk for a little bit about what happened once Officer Haley gets on the scene at Castlegate. Recall that what Officer Haley knows at that point is the following. He knows that there was a traffic stop at Ross and Raines. He knows that at the traffic stop, Tyre Nichols resisted. He knows that Tyre Nichols would not cooperate by putting his hands behind his back. He knows that he had to apply OC spray to Tyre Nichols and himself in the process. He knows that he has very limited vision, and he unsuccessfully chases Tyre Nichols a bit of the way up Ross Road, even though he couldn't see. He knows that Nichols got away uncuffed and unsearched. He spent time trying to regain his vision by washing his eyes out with water. He drove to Castlegate. Once he arrived at Castlegate, he saw officers still struggling with Nichols. He saw Nichols' right hand was still uncuffed, and it was turtled under his chest. He saw that Nichols, he decided to kick Nichols' right bicep to release his right hand. He warns as he's running up using verbal judo, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that, where he yells, "Beat that man's ass." He delivers the kick, and then approximately 31 seconds later, Mr. Nichols is injured. The yelling of "beat that man's ass" has to be put in proper context. If you go back to the first video, where it was a traffic stop video at Ross and Raines, I wrote down 3 things that you could hear Officer Haley telling Mr. Nichols at that location as they were trying to get him handcuffed. He says, "I'm going to break your shit." He says, "Get your ass blowed off." And he says, "About to knock your ass out." He says all those things on the scene at Ross and Raines as they were struggling to get Mr. Haley handcuffed. When he gets to Castlegate, he picks up that same motif with "beat that man's ass." Now, what the state would have you believe is that, or what you believe, is that none of those first 3 things were said, because then they could completely take "beat that man's ass" out of context for a better story for you. That's not what happened. What happened was all the things that he said, they were all examples of verbal commands, they were all profane, they were all harsh, and they were all intended to do the same thing, and that is to be verbal commands under that step of the use of force continuum. Now, the state was critical of the testimony of Don Cameron about how Officer Haley delivered the kick at Castlegate. And I just want to take a look at it on the video and see if we can make any sense of what Mr. Cameron was saying. So at 20:36:15, we can see from the right hand of the screen, Officer Haley coming onto the scene. From there, Officer Haley would have a clear view of the officers still trying to get Tyre Nichols handcuffed, something that Officer Haley had started trying to do approximately 12 minutes before that. He sees that he's still uncuffed, and he sees what the situation is with Tyre Nichols' right bicep. He continues to the body. He stops, he looks, and then he kicks. I'll back that up and show that again. He braces himself against one of the other fellow officers. He takes a look at the target, and then he kicks. A very specific place on the target. This was what Mr. Cameron was trying to say. It was what separated him from just being brutal and beating Tyre Nichols. Now, if you want to see an example of brutal and beating Tyre Nichols, just keep watching. Because after the kick, you see Officer Martin behind, and then he comes. He doesn't aim, he doesn't do anything. He just viciously kicks Tyre Nichols. There's a very great difference between those two kicks and those two men, and they should be treated differently. In a bit, you're going to be going back to the jury deliberation room, and you're going to have the judge's instructions on each of these offenses that Officer Haley is charged with. The context for all of these offenses, according to the state, is that Officer Haley here is being held responsible for the acts of others. And in order to do that, this is what the instruction says. A defendant is criminally responsible for an offense committed by the conduct of another if acting with the intent to promote or assist the commission of the offense, or to the benefit in the proceeds or results of the offense, the defendant solicits, directs, aids, or attempts to aid another person to commit the offense. So there has to be some involvement of Officer Haley in the decision-making process about where this enterprise was going. Now, you recall when we were in Chattanooga, you heard an illustration of this having to do with throwing rocks. And if you remember that illustration, think about that when you're looking at this, because by my memory of that illustration, every person who was held responsible for throwing a rock knew why they were throwing the rock. And I believe this case is very different than that, because this case is messy. This case is real life. This case is a case that started with officers